You're asking me to do something with little or no information to go on. And when I asked you for some kind of clarification, you dodge.
Bruce, did you see what just happened? I'm in charge here. That means when I ask you to bring me something, you deliver it. No questions asked. See, I ain't letting this laptop out of my sight until I clear up this mole problem. So, I want you to head over to Riddler's place and do some digging.
I might need some help. That place is full of death traps.
Take John with you. Just don't get him hurt. That's my job.
Road trip? With Bruce? I'm in.
Actually, I was thinking Catwoman. After all, she knew him.
Good points. Take it too.
I'll grab some snacks.
What's that guy's story?
Cat lady, are you more of a beef jerky or trumpet-shaped corn bites girl?
There's never a dull moment with John around.
Why do I get the feeling that's not a good thing?
Who's ready to hit the road?
Who you gonna tell if you see anything that ain't on the up and up?
You, Harley. But don't worry, Bruce is my best friend. He'd never betray me.
Oh, sweet, innocent puddin'. Friends have the easiest access to stab you in the back. Now get out of here.
I call shotgun.
I want that black site location.
Hello and welcome to another episode, and today we're going to be reviewing episode 3 of Telltale's Batman: The Enemy Within. This is season 2 of the Telltale Batman franchise. Now, I've reviewed episodes 1 and 2. I plan on doing a review for each episode of this season, and then in the final episode review I will do a recap of the entire season and give the overall thing a letter grade at the end of it. But I'm also doing each individual episode. Now, this is going to be a shorter video. I don't feel like there's a lot to say here without spoiling this entire episode. This, for me, personally, was the weakest episode of not only this season, but arguably this entire series as a whole. My biggest problem with what's going on with Telltale Batman right now, this is a spoiler. If you don't know anything about the Telltale Batman franchise, you should start playing it from the beginning. It's awesome. However, one of the biggest things that I enjoyed initially about this season was we introduced last season the Joker, who is not the Joker yet. He's known as a character named John Doe, and he's still kind of like these half baby steps to becoming the Joker. This season introduced Harley Quinn. The twist in this universe is that Harley Quinn is the person that is abusing the Joker, and the Joker is the person that has the Stockholm Syndrome, whereas in normal Batman stories, it's the other way around. Initially, I thought this was an excellent twist, and I praised it up and down. Now it's starting to drag a little thin for me, and it's also almost portraying the character of the Joker as incredibly weak, and I'm having a hard time swallowing that pill because the Joker's not a weak character, and maybe it's just the way they're portraying him right now until we lead to some big moment later on, but I felt here he was kind of dragged through the mud a little bit, and almost like his character, and it's kind of disappointing for me as a Batman fan to see that, because the Joker is an incredibly strong character, and to see him in this weak state, it's kind of weird, and I haven't decided if I've come to terms if I like that or not. I have two other complaints about this specific episode. Number one, it's not the length of it, it just ends. There's a big thing that happens at the end of this episode that sets up some major events for the rest of the season, and then all of a sudden it's like they hit a brick wall and they just were like, we need to cut the cord now, and separate what's going to be the next episode, and that's it. And they cut the cord and it was done. It ends in it's almost like it's a standstill stop, and it's really weird and really bizarre. I didn't really care for that much. I would have liked it to wrap up just a little bit nicer like the first two episodes, but it is what it is. My final complaint is, as someone who is kind of a lukewarm Telltale fan at this point, I've played a lot of these games. I haven't played all of them, and it became less and less forgivable to forgive certain problems with their engine. And one thing I praised about highly with episode 1 and episode 2 of Batman Telltale Season 2 is that this felt like they finally got this engine right. I had no hitches, no problems, there were no graphical glitches, nothing like that. Now episode 3 hits, and unfortunately I've seen some problems. Now thankfully I didn't have any game crashes or anything like that, but there were a couple scenes where there were a lot of graphical issues going on, artifacting and just pop-in texture problems, and it looked a little weird. Nothing as extreme as season 1 where one character's face just didn't animate for an entire scene for me, but enough that it takes you out of the experience. Again, I know Telltale is a company that just had a lot of layoffs, and they're definitely going to start looking into updating and upgrading their engine for these games, and that's fantastic to hear, but it was disappointing here after having 2 really great episodes of the technical side of things for this one to be the one that started to break things a little bit. With all that being said, I'm giving this episode of it a B-. As I said before, I think this is the weakest episode of this entire season. It just felt like it was going through the motions and setting up bigger picture things for the last 2 episodes of this season. Between that, some of the technical glitches, and the fact that I'm just not sure if I'm happy with what's going on with the Joker, or John Doe as he's called here, I'm going to give this one just a little bit less of a score than the previous episodes of this season. Again, if you've already paid for the season pass or you've already played the first 2 episodes, it's not like you're going to skip an episode and go to episode 4. It's not how these games work. So it's definitely worth your time still. I still enjoyed it. I still think this whole universe that Telltale has built for Batman has been incredible because it's so different than anything else that we've gotten out of these characters in so long. So anyways, guys, I'm giving it a B-. It's still worth your time. I still think it's good. It's just, for me personally, the weakest episode they've put out of Telltale Batman. Hope you guys enjoyed this video review. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, until next time.